Hey guys, just Ash here. Recently I started a D&D group with a few friends from work and it's going really well and I'm having great fun DMing. So I thought I would share with you guys a few tips for first time Dungeon Masters. The first tip is try to have a decent understanding of the rules. Read through the books, especially the Dungeon Master Guide, as they are really helpful, and if you can afford it, buy them. If not, try and acquire a copy that you can have for your sessions. Failing that, try and have a friend or someone in the group who does understand the rules, especially if you're a bit like me and you find it quite difficult to get your head around some of the things. For example, I really suck at magic in D&D. It's something I need to work on, but one of the members of my group actually knows what they're doing, so I can bounce ideas off them and make sure I'm doing things correctly. However, you don't have to stick to the rules exactly. It's all about the game experience. So if you can't quite remember how something works, feel free to make a decision then and there. Sometimes that's a lot more fun than grinding the game to a halt to check the rules. Remember, you're the DM, so you're in charge of things like this. In a similar vein to that though, you have to keep things consistent. If one scenario works out a certain way because you've made a decision different to the rules, it should work that way for the rest of the campaign. My next tip is to prepare. If you're using a pre-written campaign, read through it a couple of times so that you're at least comfortable with where the campaign's going, and you can also come up with a few different out-of-the-box ideas for if your players don't necessarily want to follow the campaign exactly as it's laid out. Also, there's nothing wrong with pre-written campaigns. They are a great introduction to Dungeons & Dragons as a whole and to dungeon mastering, especially if it's your first time. Preparation also includes doing things like making maps so that it is a lot easier to keep track of where things are and where players are. And to anyone in my D&D group that's watching this, yes, I know I don't follow my own advice very well, and we spent most of our first session building maps and rooms out of Pringles cans and pencils. I'm sorry. As I mentioned before, you can also be prepared by thinking outside of the box and coming up with a few extra scenarios. This means that you don't then have to turn around and tell players, oh, that path is blocked by magic and you can't go down there, if they want to explore something that you haven't previously thought out. Part of DMing is being flexible and rolling with what your players want. Remember, you're guiding them through a world, not dragging them kicking and screaming the way you want to go. Tip number 3 is make criticals fun. A critical roll is a natural 20 or a natural 1, and these are called critical successes and critical fails respectively. Basically, it's where you either succeed beyond success or fail beyond normal failure. Try to keep your criticals fresh and different. If they are the same thing every time, for example, a critical success always deals a little bit of extra damage and a critical fail always deals a little bit less damage, then your players are going to start to expect that and it's going to get a little bit boring. So you want to change things up a bit. Maybe a critical success allows you to smash the Goblin King's skull against the wall, and a critical fail means you end up with horns covered in moss. Build interesting narratives around your crits and they'll never be boring or bland. And finally, remember to have fun. Dungeons & Dragons is first and foremost a game. Don't stress yourself out over being the funniest or most charismatic DM. If you're enjoying yourself, then your players will enjoy themselves as well. In fact, the players will probably have more fun if it's obvious that you are having fun too. As long as you're prepared, you'll be fine. And anyway, the more fun you're having, the more you'll want to play. I really hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know in the comments below. I might turn this into a small D&D based series, so if you've got anything you want to see, leave that in the comments as well, along with any extra tips you have for first time DMs. If you've enjoyed the video, remember to give it a like, and as always, pour yourself a nice cup of tea and join me next Friday at 8 for the next video.